Alright, so game 2 is now underway on Metalopolis. We have Sjow spawning here as the blue Terran in the top position on Metalopolis, and as the red Protoss we have Huck. Huck is down one game, as you can see on the scoreboard there. So Huck just got to really try to pick this up a little bit. He doesn't want to fall too behind here in this best of 5. Could get dangerous. Especially in terms of psychological sort of gameplay going on between these two players. Of course, this is the NVIDIA GosuGamers King of the Hill. Number 3, actually, Huck has been our reigning champion for 2 weeks now, going into his 3rd week now versus Sjow. He's down one game, however, we've seen him come back from extreme deficits before, so anything can happen here in the NVIDIA GosuGamers KOTH number 3. Looks like Huck is now sending his probe right up into Sjow's base. Gonna see what's going on. Take a look at the production tab. If you haven't noticed, in the new patch, it's got really cool little progress bar there underneath the units. Some really awesome stuff going on. Of course, these players are playing a best of 7 here, and the winner gets to come back next week and face a new challenger, as well as 100 euros, which is a lot more than $100, I gotta say. You know, I'd like 100 euros over $100 any day, trust me. But of course, I'm not nearly good enough to take any games off these pro players. Looks like Huck is just running around with his probe inside Sjow's base. Huck is really good at that. He maximizes his first probe. He maximizes his early game APM. There's not much going on, so he's just making this probe as big as a pain in the butt for his opponent as humanly possible. Looks like Huck very smartly placing his pylon at the edge of his base. This is going to let him spot future dropship in the future, spot the perimeter of his base, and also spawn units there in the bottom, at the bottom of his ramp. So that's just win-win situation all over the place. Looks like Orbital Command Center is going down, as well as the second barracks. So Sjow is going for a similar build he did in the last game, in game 1. Just the Marine Marauders with no ghosts, actually. So anyways, looks like Huck is deviating a little bit from game 1. I don't think he produced a Zealot early on in game 1. Definitely not 2 Zealots, so it looks like he's going to try to put on a little bit of early pressure on Sjow here. That one Marine's going to run right into... Okay, that Marine's got to be a little bit careful. Going to try to kite the Zealot a little bit. Marines can't really kite Zealots too much because Zealots will eventually catch up. It looks like nice micro from Sjow, dishing out some damage on that Zealot's already 30 damage down, so that Zealot's getting shot at pretty well by that Marine. I gotta say, good control from Sjow. Looks like that Zealot's now heavy in pursuit. Looks like that Marine's gonna get trapped between the probe, getting a couple blades off on itself. And looks like we got a Stalker now in production. So 2 Zealots and a Stalker coming out for Huck. And wow, look at this Marine staying alive, doing a good job. But inevitably, I don't think it's going to be able to... Yeah, there we go. It gets his head chopped off there. Sjow's got to be really careful here. A lot of early pressure coming here from Huck. Huck is now in his base with 3 units. Now, oh man, Huck's got to be careful though. He's taking out only 1 SCV and losing a Zealot there. And Sjow's got some nice micro there, pulling back the hurt Marines, and that Zealot's going to go down without taking out too much. So I don't think that was a very effective early commitment from Huck there, losing 2 Zealots and a probe that's 250 minerals. And he only took out 1 single SCV and 1 Marine there in retaliation. Wow, Huck is definitely going for the early pressure here. 3 gateways now. Are we going to see the 4 gateway ultra heavy pressure here, TVP build? We might. Looks like Huck, Sjow is putting down his reactor and going to push out maybe just a little bit, put a little bit counter pressure on Huck. He knows that Huck lost a lot of early units there, and this big investment, especially early on, those 2 Zealots and that 1 probe. Not accomplishing too much, so Sjow is going to take this chance. Wow, maximizing that opportunity to take his natural expansion as well as move up the ramp at the same time. Oh man, that force field just a tiny bit late, so he couldn't save his sentry, and there was 1 Marauder there up there. Looks like Huck's having to pull tons of probes as well as that 1 Zealot. He's probably going to be able to... No, he's not going to be able to keep up the force fields because this sentry is totally out of energy. And once that force field goes down, there's nothing stopping Sjow from just doing exactly what he's doing right now. Just walking up, taking out the Zealots, those concussive shells, just hurting those Zealots a ton. Look at the probes having to get into the fight there. Doing a good job though. Probes completely trapping the units on the ramp, going back for more, but probes getting picked off by some good kite from Sjow here. It looks like Sjow is going to be able to inflict massive damage as well as take his natural expansion. Even if this totally fails, Sjow is going to be way ahead. Going to try to pick off that pylon there a little bit, just harass Huck, keep the pressure on Huck. He's got to be careful. He doesn't want his army to get siphoned off there by one nicely placed force field. Once the sentry gets enough energy there, it looks like Sjow is just producing, and just rallying right into Huck's base. Looks like Huck is not going to be able to fight this pressure off for long as he loses his last zealot right there. And some nice attempt at some force fields. Unfortunately, a little bit too late, but Huck didn't have the energy to get it out early. So unfortunately for Huck, he is going to get his last pylon there picked off by these Mirage Marines. All those units, all those things going unpowered. So just looking extremely grim for Huck after these two stalkers get taken out. I think Huck is going to have to call it here. There's not much else he can do. This pylon's not going to get up in time to really save him from the onslaught here, as Sjow just keeps on microing. He does not let go. Look at this, more units streaming in. He's on only 3 racks, is queuing up way too much, but it doesn't matter because he's focusing so hard on his micro. Looks like the pylon has gone up, but again, Huck lost so many probes, just cannot produce any more units. He's got just units streaming into his base. Sjow's got some nice micro. He's even got the stim up, picking off the last couple units there from Huck, and just Huck calls this GG. Extreme pressure there from Sjow, I gotta say. Really keeping Huck at the edge of his seat.